Hello to everyone. This week our topic is distribution channels. Let's start with a question. I want you to think about your last trip. Or you can just focus on imaginary trip if you haven't planned before. So, how did you plan your last trip? Did you require more information or professional suggestions? Of course, as you are a member of Z generation, did you check online sites from mobile or desktop or laptop? What did you look for? A place to stay? An economic vehicle? Or a complete tour? Did you make travel arrangements by yourself? Or did you get any help from those sites like hotels.com, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, Google Flights, or Airbnb, Couchsurfing, or maybe any other related websites or apps? First time when I asked this question to the class, I got surprised. There were Airbnbs, Couchsurfings, online travel agencies my students use especially to go abroad. And a couple of years ago, I was also surprised when I heard one of my students were organizing low-cost tours to Europe for his friend group, and very often. Well, today I will talk about all these different ways, both for us, but mainly for tourism industry. You already know distribution and distribution channels, since at least some of you got, principles of marketing and passed, the relationships between producers and intermediaries, which are wholesalers and retailers. You will remember a firm's upstream and downstream partners. Upstream partners or suppliers, which are supplying goods and services for a company. If it's a local hotel or a restaurant, the butcher, grocery shop, supermarket, a tourism school, or a human resources company maybe. All and more will comprise suppliers. If it's an airline company, this time catering firms and maybe more specialized institutionalized suppliers are involved. On the other hand, downstream partners are those of conveying our products, companies' products or services to the customers, to its customers. We call them intermediaries, and mostly they are of wholesalers and retailers. For the same examples, this time a tour operator, a travel agent, an online comparison site, review site, booking site will constitute hotels or airlines downstream partners. And these downstream partners are termed as distribution channels. A set of independent organizations involved in the process of making a product or service available. A very important point we should understand is considering the channel members according to the producer. And this producer may not be a hotel each time. As I gave some examples here, the producer may be an airline company, a restaurant, etc. Since they are all have their own distribution decisions. Distribution strategies. But in general speaking, of course, tour operators and travel agents represent our traditional intermediaries, but for, generally hotels, accommodation industry. There are some questions that a tourism company should reply to form appropriate channels. What, how, where, and when. What exactly will flow through the channel? Information, promotion, negotiation, products, services. And how should the service reach the customer? Will our customers visit the service site, or we go to the customer? Or another option, maybe it will be a remote service. We will discuss. And where should the service be delivered? By asking this question, we face with strategical, tactical, location considerations, and also constraints of location choose. And another question, where should the service be delivered? Here we should consider operating time, hours, and days. Of course, in tourism, it would be actually ridiculous thinking operating hours rather than 24/7. On the other hand, during the corona process and maybe also afterwards, we should reevaluate this from many aspects, such as customer needs, economic outcomes, labor issues, etc. What is being distributed? Most of the time, we think that only products are to be distributed, but we also have promotional materials to convey, reservation and payment protocols to be made. It is also important to distinguish the distribution of core and supplementary services. You will remember levels of product: core, facilitating, supporting, and augmented product or parts of product. Lombok and Wirtz suggested another model for service businesses, a flower of product, or let's say a flower of service. Their flower of service model consists of the core service and a range of supplementary services. Although there are dozens of different supplementary services, the authors classified them into 8 clusters. In tourism, many core services are consumed in a physical location. Therefore, it requires physical distribution. Because of the nature of the distribution, we cannot talk about the flow of services, but the flow of customers in or through service settings. So most of the time, it is a customer, guest, or visitor who is in motion, who is traveling. You can only consume Disneyland by visiting any of 6 in the world. On the other hand, visitors may obtain information or make payments many different ways: face-to-face, by phone, or via online channels, with a travel agent, other online agents indirectly, or with the company itself directly. If we are distributing core or supplementary services, how could we do it properly? Is it required to be visited by the customer? Like traditional accommodation services? Or like Emirates did, Emirates Premium Baggage Service, or the Emirates Concierge Service, will the company send its personnel to take your luggage from your residency and to leave where you want to go? Or as usual, restaurant chains or fast food chains do, they can send your home delivery in a very quick time. The company also interacts with you remotely. In many service settings, it is almost impossible to deliver tourism products, but there are few exceptions, and they seem to be increased. Some VR, virtual reality applications, give you that experience. Actually, you can select your plane seat inside the plane thanks to VR glasses, or visit some destinations. And I know, actually they know, this is not the same thing with, same experience with the real one, but still there are vast opportunities for this area. Because of, corona process, museums started to offer free online tours. Of course, there were several in the past, but now, because of circumstances, each business started to find its own its own way by pushing for remote services. However, it has limitations. Of course, apart from Corona, there are important factors attracting customers to online services, like convenience, ease of search for information, having a broader selection, finding better prices, 24/7 service with prompt delivery. But we, or some of us, let's say, don't seem to have the willingness of using online channels, online ways. A recent study suggested some key drivers for better understanding of why customers choose personal or impersonal channels. People tend to rely on personal channels for services that are complex and have a high perceived risk. For example, customers enjoy booking their tickets or making their travel arrangements online, but if it is the first time they are leaving the country, or they know few about the destination, if they know, they will keep using travel agents. And actually, people are using the same agent even to book a plane ticket. It's not risky, but it gives more confidence and sociable interaction for them. To them. On the other hand, individuals with greater confidence and knowledge about a service or about the channel, or people looking for convenience, will prefer impersonal ways. And it is also lower cost channels for those looking for economical benefits. Another question is related to the place or location decisions of physical channels. Here we can use two-step approach, strategical and tactical. In the first step, the general types of locations have to be determined after evaluating customer needs and expectations, competition. And in the second step, a specific location is chosen. At this stage, there are many factors to take into account, like population size, traffic volume, convenience of access, competitors in the area, nature of nearby businesses and stores, labor finding, costs, and so on. Some firms use geographic information systems while they are determining a specific place. Starbucks Global Market Planning Manager Patrick O'Hagan explains how they use GIS in their company. My team provides analytics, decision support, business intelligence, and geospatial intelligence to our real estate partners. We need tools that provide decision support to answer critical questions. What's going on in the trade area? What are general retail trends in this area? Where are competitors? Who are those competitors? Where is business generated? Where is the highest traffic value? Where are people living? Where are they working? And how are they traveling to work? But let's face it, yes, Patrick claims they are using GIS, but still he cannot prevent some jokes people narrated about Starbucks. Since Starbucks is following a severe penetration strategy, in 2000, it was written in Onion headline that new Starbucks opens in restroom of existing Starbucks. Describing time decisions of physical channels and the factors determining extended operating hours are another question for companies. We mentioned 24/7 as a general practice. There are possible factors that lead this practice. Economic pressure coming from consumers, changing laws in favor of customers, advantage of operating costs, employees who want to work flexible hours, and automated self-service facilities. In tourism, automating opportunities are increasing gradually. For example, Aloft hotels, which I mentioned before, are applying room service robots. airlines check-in kiosks. Moreover, Ryanair's automated check-in policy and many others. As I mentioned earlier, tourism is not like other businesses. It is not the goods being distributed by intermediaries, but the customers are in motion, traveling. And not all of the intermediaries carry customers. Because apart from, core businesses, they distribute information, take reservations, accept payment, etc. Thanks to intermediaries, it becomes possible to deliver the customers a whole experience.